So there's a new Bad Boys movie out in theaters right now, Bad Boys for Life. It pairs Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as legendary Miami detectives Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett, still being bad boys together 17 years after the events of Bad Boys 2. After decades of what we assume is brutal, violent, and outlandish police work, Marcus is trying to get out of the game and convince Mike to settle down, but an unexpected enemy draws them back into the game for one last job. Now, the Bad Boys movies were some of my favorite action movies growing up. I love the rapport between Smith and Lawrence, the theme by composer Mark Mancina, and the stylish action scenes. The last movie, Bad Boys 2, had some problems. Its humor was juvenile, its style of hyper-editing can be disorienting and off-putting. It's gross, it's offensive, and it's basically morally reprehensible, but it's also an absolute blast to watch, and it has action scenes that still hold up. They are wildly ambitious and memorable. And that's the thing with Michael Bay movies, is regardless of your feelings of the movies themselves, they clearly come from the mind of a singular filmmaker. That's how you get things like bouncy cars being thrown down the freeway, or cadavers coming out of a truck with their heads popping off. Or that super cool fight scene in the bathroom where like the camera's twirling around them 360 degrees and it goes through a bullet hole before it comes out the other side again, and then goes through the bullet hole again. We remember these moments because they're not like anything we've ever seen before or even since. Love him or hate him, Michael Bay is a craftsman at the top of his game, and he's making the movies that he wants to make with Bad Boys 1 and 2. The new film, Bad Boys for Life, is directed by Bilal Fallah and Adil El Arbi, and they do a totally competent job. But having just watched it, there are very few scenes, moments, or action set pieces that I think will actually stick with me. I think that's because in the intervening years since Bad Boys 2, other franchises have stepped in and filled in the void for over-the-top action. Specifically, I'm thinking of like Fast and Furious and Mission Impossible, which feature all the crazy stunts as well as the wholesome family vibes, with none of the cadavers or gore that Bad Boys became well known for. So a Bad Boys film with no Michael Bay means you get an action film that's pretty good. But a Bad Boys film with no Michael Bay also gives you a bunch of benefits that I didn't even think about before I saw the film. Let me list 8 of them. Number 1, scenes that last longer than 90 seconds. Number 2, actual character development. Number 3, a story that kinda makes sense. Number 4, pauses and quiet moments of reflection. Number 5, less gratuitous gore. Number 6, less homophobia-based humor. Number 7, fewer racial stereotypes. Number 8, plot twists that are genuinely surprising. If all those sound like things you actually want in a Bad Boys movie, then you should check out Bad Boys for Life. But if they sound like things that would rob this franchise of its crazy spirit, then this is probably not the movie for you. I just think it's interesting that when you lose a filmmaker like Michael Bay, you lose a lot of what makes a series like this tick, but you also gain a lot of things. And it's interesting to see that trade-off kind of live with this movie, Bad Boys for Life. You rarely get an opportunity like that to see like what a filmmaker specifically brings to a franchise. Bad Boys for Life provides us that opportunity. So at the end of the day, I had a pretty good time with this movie, and the ending of the film actually leaves open the possibility of future entries into the franchise in ways that I won't explain right now for spoilers. Will I show up for future entries? The best thing I can say about Bad Boys for Life is maybe I will. Alright, that's going to do it for this video review of Bad Boys for Life. Hope you enjoyed it and learned a little bit something about me as well as my feelings on Michael Bay. If you want to get more videos from me this year, hit subscribe, hit like, hit that bell icon. And of course, you can also find me at my podcast Culturally Relevant, as well as on Twitter at Dave Chensky. Subscribe to get emails from me at davechen.net/letters. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.